Mac and cheese, it's rich, it's gooey, it's my Achilles heel. I love making a homemade mac and cheese. And of course, it's not mac and cheese without lots of cheese. And today I'm going to be using 4 varieties of cheeses. Now let's get on with the sauce. So it's just like a bechamel really. We've got some butter, so a few knobs of butter into a saute pan. Give that a bit of a jiggle. And then while that's melting, I'm also going to add some onion. So I like the base to have some onion. You could add some garlic too if you like, and you just want to allow it to soften slightly. So we'll give that a stir and a pinch of salt. Not too much salt because the cheese and the ham's going to be salty too, so just want to balance that out. And for some flour to thicken it. So the combination of the flour and the butter is actually called a roux, and that's the base of our white sauce. So once you've added the flour, you want to mix that in. You'll see it automatically thicken up, and you just want to give it a few moments to cook off the flour. Next, we're going to add the milk. So I've just warmed up my milk slightly. This just ensures we don't get too many lumps. And you never want to add all of your milk at the beginning of this. So we add a little bit of milk and stir that in. And you'll see, again, all of that flour absorbs the milk. We can add a little more. And then at this stage, I like to transfer over to a whisk just to really ensure there's no lumps whatsoever. So we'll just whisk that in and then some more milk. So you want to keep incorporating all of that milk until it comes to the boil and is silky smooth. Right, that's a smooth, silky sauce, and you can see the speckles of onion in there. Right now, it's a bit bland, so we need to inject it with some flavour. Good old Dijon mustard is great for this, so a few generous spoonfuls of the mustard in there. And some spices, classic combinations for a mac and cheese. I've got some nutmeg, so a good pinch of nutmeg, and some smoked paprika. Now we'll just stir that in, and there's no harm in adding freshly cracked pepper too. Excellent. Now for the cheeses. So I've got a few bocconcinis that I love to use in this. The reason I use bocconcini is because I want it to be really stringy. I love the theatre of that with mac and cheese. So bocconcini essentially is mozzarella. It's made the same way, but it's the shape that defines it. So look how cute they are. Just small little balls. I love them. And this I'm just going to tear up. I mean, I could eat this whole container. I love it that much. We're just going to break it up into 4 pieces, and we'll just add it to our bechamel. So we'll add 2 or 3 of the classic buffalo bocconcini. And then I've got another variety of bocconcini. This is smoked bocconcini, and it's been smoked with beechwood. So we're going to get that lovely earthy flavour. So another flavour profile for this gorgeous mac and cheese. So again, about 2 to 3 of these, or you can go all out, even more, depends how much cheese you like. If you know me, you know I love my cheese. And I'm not making it too small because I'm okay with little chunks of the cheese as it slowly melts into this. And for some creaminess, some good old ricotta, and this is ricotta delicata, so it really has that smooth, velvety texture too. So I'll just grab my spoon. We just want 1 to 2 spoonfuls of that in there. Okay, now I'm just going to incorporate that. I've just turned the heat off, so the residual heat in the pan will melt this and allow it to come together. Fantastic, so dreamy. Now, usually with mac and cheese, you would place it in a baking dish and put a crumb on top of it, then into the oven. But I want to cut that step out because I want lots of texture with this. So I've pre-fried some breadcrumbs. This was just 3-day-old sourdough. I've placed it in a food processor until it's formed a crumb, and then popped it into a pan and just fried it off with some olive oil until it goes golden and crispy. To add some flavour to this, I'm going to add some garlic. I like the freshness of the garlic. Now, I don't use a whole clove because it's quite intense, so we just want about half of that. And I'm grating that on a fine grater. I don't want big chunks of garlic in this. To that, I'll add the zest of 1 lemon, lots of lemon flavours. And we want to cut through the richness of our mac and cheese, and we can do that by adding the zest of some lemon. Good. We'll also get some freshness from the herbs. So my preference is fresh parsley. Stalks and all, we're just going to cut that in half, and then you can either finely chop it, or I just want to roughly chop it so we really see the speckles of parsley throughout this topping. Good. Now just mix that through. And that's our crispy component to our mac and cheese. The last thing we need to do is cook our pasta. Now always leave it to the last minute so it is absolutely al dente. So macaroni into some rapidly boiling water. Okay, the pasta is al dente, so now we can place it straight into our thick, cheesy sauce. If some of the water goes in, it's totally fine. That starchy water will help bind all of those ingredients together. Now, I haven't added any of our ham yet. I like to leave it to the last minute. We just want to warm it through because this ham is already cooked. Also, the fourth cheese. I haven't forgotten about it. I like to leave the Parmesan to the end. We'll sprinkle that in. Few spoonfuls, and the best part of mac and cheese is just this last moment of stirring everything together. And see that mozzarella? See how stringy that is? That's what we're after. So into a bowl, we're going to add a few spoonfuls. Like I said, it's quite rich, so you don't have to overdo it. Say 3 or 4 spoonfuls, get some of that ham in there too. And delicious as is, but the textural component of this crispy crumb really takes it to new heights. So a little sprinkle over the top. And that, my friends, is my ultimate cheesy, cheesy, cheesy mac and cheese. Gotta have a taste of this. It really is the best. Oh, so good.